Welcome to Leadership Labs. I'm Louise and Maurice, leadership mentor and founder of the Academy for Holistic Leadership. We are continuing with my Get Results Confidence Coaching Framework. When you hear me say client, I want you to imagine the person or group of people you lead and apply the training to your real-world leadership situations. Let's continue. In Lab 4, you learn by applying your skills in real-world practice, strengthening your ability to lead with clarity, confidence, and grounded presence in everyday situations. All the resources I mention in this professional training are free and linked in the description below. Let's get started. Now, next, new. That is how we end the session. That's how we begin the session and end the session. It's important that consistency gives your clients the green light and the red light. All right, we're stopping now. 5 minutes. The phrasing obviously is on the PDF document, but now you know how to unwind your confidence. Now you know. And this was a fun session for your clients because they were interactive. But it also can be a little bit heavy for some people because they might be so attached to that identity, even though it's detrimental to their success. And then if they're so attached to an identity, what happens when they're not that identity anymore? They don't see themselves in any other way. And I've worked with female clients who their whole lives, when they were in school and university, they were beautiful. And that's how they got their confidence. And that's how everyone identified with them. And now, as they begin a new phase of their life, they might be connecting with a different part of themselves, but their beauty is no longer there, so they don't feel confident. And if they want to start a business and they don't feel like they're beautiful, they don't have confidence. And I'm just telling them that, yeah, and I can see that. But it's not what I tell them. It's what they uncover themselves. So always remember that. Even though you can see all of what's amazing in your clients, they are so attached to that identity that you have to guide them to discover an identity that is everlasting, that identity that's been in there, and they just have to peel back the layers of the identities that, yeah, maybe what society views as beauty has faded, but there's so much more that's beautiful inside of them that you have to help them connect with. And that's just one of many examples of how this process works to help people unwind a new level of confidence that they never even knew existed before. And that's what you are just so privileged to do as a confidence coach. It really is an amazing process. Next, the second part of the method, next. In our next session on date and time, we are going to look at a new session that's all about your success. All of this is about their success. But remember to complete those steps, or if you want to go back and add some additional information to what we worked on, you can. Any challenges, successes, we can talk about in the next session. Remember, I'm going to send you the email. And this is what your clients are familiar with. It gives them that sense of security. The trust that they have in you is incredible. It just builds. And that's when you start to get referrals. You don't even have to ask for them. When you are professional like this, you follow this consistent plan and you provide your clients with what it is that they need to move past their blocks and obstacles. It really is amazing. All right. Now, in the next lecture, I'm going to share with you some insight. Let's continue. For your own practice, level 1 is important. Level 1 means that you are moving through and watching all of the lectures. All of the lectures. And you're gaining a lot of insight. Hopefully you have been taking those additional notes in addition to the ones that I've already provided for you. But your practicum, that means you are practicing what you've been learning. And for session 7, yes, moving through each of the steps and coaching yourself so that you are familiar with the resources and making those adaptations, those adjustments, the language that you would use, and then coaching family and friends. This is non-mandatory, meaning that you don't have to do it, but it is, again, very much highly recommended. I will remind you of that each time, but I want to share some insight with you because your confident identity, if you're finding that right now you aren't as confident as you would like to be, then it really is time for an upgrade. And an upgrade doesn't mean that the other version wasn't exceptional. It just means that that identity isn't working for what you need right here, right now, and in the future. And that's all that an upgrade is. It doesn't mean that you're wrong or worthless. It just means that, hey, we're going to make some improvements. And that's what life is all about. And I want you to connect with that because your clients are looking at you as being their results role model. And you may have started right here on this path of building your confidence, but you're further along the journey than your clients. Your clients are still right here, and you're further along the journey because you have been making those improvements. You have been updating your identity, your beliefs, and seeing your world in a different way. And those enhancements are showing through in the way you speak, in the way you hold yourself, in the way that you go out there and you connect with people on a daily basis. And this is what I want you to remember. How you show up on a daily basis, you're coaching. When you are out and you see someone, you ask them questions. You listen to their stories. You're interested, you're curious, you call them by name. You help every single person that you meet feel important by your interest in their life, what they're doing, what they're up to. That's coaching. And if they ask you a question about yourself, great, you can share what you're up to, but then ask them another question. And that is coaching. And that's when you advance as a confidence coach. So every single moment of every single day, you have the opportunity to show up and be your own best coach, but then a coach for someone else. As we are wrapping up Module 7 of the Get Results Confidence Coaching course and Session 7 of the Get Results Confidence Coaching program, we are looking at your Unwind Lab Report. And I love this session because so many people struggle with letting go of identities that no longer serve them. They've been stuck in this paradigm of using a personality that other people have given them. And we looked at our case study, that example case study, and you might have resonated with that case study or know of people that's their whole life. They've been trying to prove themselves because they feel unworthy being who they are, even though everyone else knows that they are exceptional. So that's where the Unwind Lab Report, your call to action, is to look at that version 1.0 identity and do an audit. And that first question, what is one trait you used to rely on for confidence that doesn't serve you anymore? And I always like to say with these lab reports, always doing this for yourself first, because if you are coaching, leading, you're in that leadership role, other people are looking at you. You can confidently be that get results role model for them. So, what is one trait you used to rely on for confidence that doesn't serve you anymore? Being the youngest in the room, always having the right answer, making other people feel inferior so that you feel superior. So, looking at that one trait. The version 2.0 install. What is a new quality you have developed during this course? That quality might be genuinely listening or self-trust. Whatever that new quality is that you've developed during this course, I want you to fill in the blank. And then tomorrow, I want you to call 3 people by their name who you usually ignore, and then write down how it changed the vibe of the interaction. So this is where I talked a lot during this session, during this module 7, about how important it is to really know people, to connect with them, to call them by name, to remember something about them that's important for them. Not important for you, important for them, so that you truly see people. And this is where just I want you to call 3 people by their name who you usually ignore. All right, remember, if you are subscribed to the @Louise and Maurice YouTube channel, you can share your answers, receive feedback, and interact with the community. That is a wrap for Module 7 as we continue on with the Get Results Confidence Coaching course, confidence coaching program. In the next module 8, session 8, we are looking at the L. So I want you to think, we've been moving through, we just finished with unwind. What could that L stand for? All right, write down your response, and I will see you for module 8. Thank you for completing this Confidence Coaching Leadership Lab. Every skill you practice here strengthens your ability to lead with clarity, confidence, and grounded presence in real-world situations. If you'd like to continue developing your human-centered leadership and coaching skills, you'll find additional resources, leadership labs, and professional training. Links in the description below. I appreciate you being here and investing in your growth as a leader.